Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's 5:30. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. This is a meeting of the school board for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. Public comments are limited to items on the agenda. There will be a time for public participation as indicated by agenda item number 5. The board receives agenda item information and rationale for administrative recommendations for their thorough review before each meeting. Section 2.0, media. We have no media signed in for tonight's meeting, so we will carry on to section 2.2, which are our students of the month. So our first student of the month is Grady Branning, a Whitko senior, nominated by Antimony Fox.
Antimony went home ill with a migraine, so I apologize, but she says that Grady has a fantastic sense of humor that highlights his sarcasm, and it is always on display no matter where the location. He is a great student even if he had to use his 2 late passes for an assignment he totally procrastinated on last week, and covers that up with his goofiness. He often comes meandering back into the classroom to chat or help other students or for the candy on her desk. He's also one of a kind student that is either participating in the activity or there cheering on everyone else. And that is why she chose Grady for the Student of the Month.
Congratulations. Next, we have Kira Sordelay, Jr., nominated by Antimony Fox as well.
She says that Kira is inquisitive and a good thinker. Kira is always ready to discuss anything. It helps that she is in a smaller classroom because that allows her the opportunity to participate more often, and it's not as chaotic. She says that Kira works ahead without losing quality in her work, and she doesn't let anything stop her from what she wants. It doesn't matter if it's her personal health or the school setting. She has battled back from injuries that she has sustained earlier in the year, and you would never know she missed a beat. She loves school so much. And that's for Kira.
Congratulations. Next, we have Kirsten Greenwood, sophomore, nominated by Mike Hanback.
One of the things that you run into every now and then as a teacher, you get those very quiet people who don't talk much, pay attention, do everything you ask them to do. And it's amazing because even though lots of times they turn in some of their work a little bit late, you don't worry about it because you know it's going to be good. That's Kristen. I have her in earth science class, and she is one of those people who you never worry about. You always see her. She sits in the same spot every day. She's always there. She's always working. She's doing what she needs to do. And the absolute best part of it is every now and then she'll smile. And when she smiles, it just brightens up her entire face, and it just makes the entire classroom a very warm place. That's why one of the major reasons I wanted to recognize Kristen.
Next, we have Lucy Morgan, an 8th grader, nominated by Curtis Hines.
So this is my first year at Whitko, and I'm just getting to know everybody. And one of the people that stood out to me last semester in an 8th period class was Lucy, and then I had her again in science this semester. And the thing that stands out to me is she has a very just an ease about her, and she's kind. She's respectful of her classmates, and they are in turn they have a lot of respect for her. So she's very conscientious with her schoolwork, and she's just an example, I think, for her classmates and her peers. So I've been very impressed with her as a student. So that was why I wanted to recognize her.
Congratulations. Next, we have Adam Garte, nominated by Jade Hollenball.
Adam is a tremendous representative of Student of the Month for the Precision Machining Department. His enthusiasm and ability are both outstanding. He shows up ready to learn and is always willing to help other students that may be struggling. Adam is an asset in the classroom, has a bright future ahead of him as a machinist that could lead to further opportunities in the field in a leadership type position. Adam Gardy.
Congratulations. Next, we have a 6th grader, Braylon Reed from South Whitley Elementary School, nominated by Marcus Green.
Braylon is always kind, respectful, and the first one to lend a helping hand to any of her peers. She is a member of the 6th grade volleyball team and the Whitko Recreational League softball team. So not only does she strive for perfection in her extracurricular activities, she also strives to do her best in everything she does academically. She has been on the A honor roll all year and is such a joy to have in class this year. And I want to add that when I see her in school, I think, thinking of her parents, you should be so proud, because this is what we want to have here at Whitko, students like her. She's smart, she's funny, and brings, an element of just excitement and challenges us as teachers, and that's what we want. So congratulations, Braylon.
Congratulations. Finally, we have Carolyn Raber, a Pearston 6th grader, nominated by Donna Stump and Tasha Kinney.
Donna Stump and I nominated Caroline Raber for our Student of the Month, and Mrs. Stump would have loved to have been here, but this is her birthday, so it's just me tonight. But we both agree that she's one of the hardest workers that we have in our classes. She approaches every assignment with a positive attitude, works hard. She willingly improves on her work if needed, or makes corrections on her math. And she really wants to get it. She's not really there to get the grade. She's there to learn, and she takes everything seriously. She's also a lot of fun and very sociable, and enjoys her classmates and interactions with both adults and other students. And she's always has this smile on her face. So.
Congratulations. That concludes the Students of the Month portion of the meeting. If any of you would like to leave now, you can, or you're most certainly welcome to stay for the duration of the meeting. Next on the agenda is item 2.3, which is a special presentation, the Whitko girls basketball team.
Good evening, everybody. First off, board members, thank you guys so much for inviting the girls on an amazing season. It's good seeing everybody. This season was one for the ages. Going into the year, I told the girls I felt like we would have a pretty good season. Most of the time when I'm talking, I don't know if they're listening to me all the time, but when I was speaking to them this season, going into this, I was very excited. We ended up winning the conference for the second time in a row. We won the first ever sectional, first ever regional, and we came up short in the semifinals or the semi-state. But was just super proud of the girls. Going down the row, Coach Stone, who's been with me for 3 years, an amazing person who's been with me, and Coach Goodwell, who's not here with us tonight, is also another amazing coach. We have sophomore Anna Allenbach, sophomore Allie Brown, sophomore Reagan Kleppinger, sophomore Jocelyn Lukey, and then I'll touch base on these next three. Jama Stonebreaker, who's a sophomore. This season, Jama was all-conference TRC for us. Jama also finished off as an all-state small school for us as well. And then we have a senior, Brasia Harrison. Brasia was academic all-conference honorable mention this year, and then Brasia finished her career off as our fourth all-time leader in three-pointers made. And then we have Adriana Phillips, who's our last senior. Adriana's going to finish her career off as the fourth all-time leading scorer. She's the all-time leader in 3 points made. Adriana was all-state this year for small school, honorable mention, and she was also all-conference. We're also missing Reese Stonebreaker, who was also all-conference this year and all-state as well. And then we're missing Hazel Leffers, our freshman. Am I missing anybody else, girls? And Willow Osborne as well. Again, just an amazing season, and then how you guys all rallied behind us throughout this whole thing was amazing. I think for me, the biggest moment, I don't know who this woman was, but after the regional game, I got a hug from an older woman and a kiss on the cheek in front of my wife, so I'm just glad I'm still here to tell that story. But it was an amazing year, and I'm just super proud of the girls, and thank you guys for having us. You girls want to come grab your flowers? Okay. Adriana Phillips, Brasia Harrison, Jama Stonebreaker, Jocelyn Lukey, Reagan Kleppinger, Allie Brown, and Anna Allenbach. Thank you guys.
Okay, now we're ready for section 3.0, the reports, principals and directors reports. And first on the list is Christy Hopper.
Good evening. Just a few highlights for Pearson. Our Hacienda Gives Back Night donation amount came in today, and then we had a pretty good turnout there in Warsaw at the Hacienda, and we earned $446.44. So we thank the community and our school, just patrons who showed up that night. That brought in a good chunk of money for our new playground equipment. On May 31st, we're also, now through May 31st, so the end of the school year, Pearson is going to sponsor something called a Shoe Us the Love, which I've never heard of before. Christy Rose came across this. It's a pretty neat fundraiser through funds2.org. You donate gently worn, used, or new shoes, and it goes by pounds. It's kind of interesting. I had to get all the amounts there, but basically 40 cents per pound of shoes will be donated back to Pearson. So it's a good way to repurpose shoes that have been gently used, and it does a lot for the planet. I read a lot about that in the statistics for the organization as well. So pretty neat fundraiser. April 11th is our Grandparents' Day, and that begins right away at 8:10 and kind of runs throughout the day. Each grade level will have 45 minutes to spend time with grandparents. We have games, activities, just light refreshments for everybody to enjoy some fun time together. April 22nd is another big day. Our kindergarten roundup is from 5 to 6:30, and we have all been planning that together and getting ready for that. Pretty excited about that. April 30th, beginning band recruitment events. That went over really well last year. We've scheduled that for, again, April 30th, and that's from 8:30 to 10, and that's for grades 5 and 6. So they get to try out, he calls it the petting zoo, which is kind of fun. They try different instruments, and they get to ask questions and get some feedback for if they're interested in going into band. For student council, the week of April 7th, when we get back from spring break, the big thing there would be we have a theme dress-up week, a spirit week, with some fun dress-up days, and then also donating to the Pearson Food Pantry. So outside of the holidays, we're trying to kind of circle back to that to help families in need. Kind of switching gears to testing. I know I can't give percentages, but we were really proud of our second and third grade students. Second grade went up about 24% from last year in pass proficiency, and third grade went up 27%. And we did have a few sick kiddos, and we're looking forward to retesting in May. So that was a tremendous growth from last year. We're really proud of everybody's efforts, staff and students both. The iLearn testing window is coming up pretty quickly as well, grades 3 through 6. Now this is the summative, the end of the year for English, math, and then science and social studies is thrown in there for some grades as well. That opens April 14th and runs through May the 9th. So we're getting ready for that next. And really quickly, professional development. Mrs. Rose has been kind of putting some stuff together for artificial intelligence. She went to a really neat think tank. And I know that Dr. Corris has been working with the coaches to go attend some outside PD. So she's bringing back some really neat ideas about how to use AI in education. So we're doing that. We have a couple more ARC visits for our reading program, virtual and core visits to the classroom to wrap up the year. And I think that's the meat and potatoes of what I have tonight. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Joel Hossoppel from South Whitley Elementary.
We returned from spring break, and our staff has been working really hard to use something we call the item specs. It lets us know what the questions are going to look like, the vocabulary students will need as we kind of, again, that final push to help our students. We think that'll make a difference, kind of like the cramming, right? Like we need to do that all year round, all year long, but we're working on that. Our iRead results are in, and just today we were working on identifying those students and then what we need to be teaching, because we are going to have some remediation that we do once we come back from spring break, and then give our students another chance to take that in May to see that they can pass that. And just like Mrs. Hoppert said, I want to give a shout out to both Pearson and South Whitley, because I know the staffs have been working so hard. The iRead proficiency, it gets put all over the papers, and it makes such a difference when our staffs are working together, kindergarten through 6th grade, through 12th grade too. But for the iRead, it's really a K1 and 2 test too, to see what they've learned before they get into 3rd grade. So great job. Our proficiency levels are increasing. So any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Chris Benedict with the Career Academy.
Good evening. Our senior work-based learning highlighted student for March is Keaton Cornell. Keaton is at Paragon Medical Amatech in Pearson. He has completed a cybersecurity pathway and his capstone here at WCA. He'll also earn an academic and technical honors diploma later this spring. So excited for Keaton. Another opportunity our students had this past on March 6th, our all the students at WCA participated in orthopedic career virtual reality experience here in the gym. Students were able to come down, put on a virtual headset basically to kind of step into the world of CNC machining, polishing, and entrepreneurship for an insight into those advanced manufacturing careers. We'd like to thank OrthoWorks and iExplore for making that learning experience possible. I'd like to also thank our agriculture department, our FFA students, their parents, our leadership in FFA, Mr. Johns, Mrs. Murphy, for all of their efforts in hosting this weekend the FFA District 2 conference here at Whitko Career Academy this past Friday. A number of students here, a number of people here making that event go very, very well. Next thing I'd like to talk about is we're extremely excited here at the Academy to announce Manufactured. It's going to be a new manufacturing academy partnership with Paragon Medical, Amatech, Micropulse, and CNA Tool. It will be a 2-year program for 12 students in this first year in a piloted program. Their first year as juniors, they will go step into a situation where business leaders will send their team here at our machining lab to work with our students 1 day a week on hands-on projects that it gives them an insight into their business as well. Once each 9 weeks, they will visit each one of those 3 companies as well on 1 day a week, or once a 9 weeks. On that one particular day of that week, they will go to one of those 3 businesses to see, again, hands-on what's going on in that business world. That whole first year as that's happening, that rotation process will happen every single week. 1 week it'll be Paragon is here, the next week it'll be Micropulse, the next week it'll be CNA Tool, and then we'll go right back to that. The second year, all of those kids will have an opportunity for a paid internship at one of those 3 companies. So it's an outstanding partnership between those 3 companies, WCA Precision Machining, our instructor. It's kind of, we will have a big media day presentation next Monday, March 24th at 1 o'clock here at the Academy. I'll be inviting a lot of media people as well as all the collaboration of efforts of the Smith Green, Columbia City school personnel, as well as business leaders from those 3 businesses. We'll be here to have that media and marketing promotional day on the 24th. We will have a student signing and an open house that will happen on May 15th at 6:30 here at the Academy to get those kids and parents acclimated to our building and also introduced to the program as well. So we're extremely excited about that opportunity. Again, it's called Manufactured. The ED at the end of that is capitalized, focusing on, and it's a different letter or a different color, focusing on the education side of the manufacturing side of that. So again, bringing business leaders and our curriculum together, I think we'll just have an authentic experience for our students. We're extremely excited about that opportunity. We have some upcoming events. Obviously, we talked about the March 24th, the Manufactured Media Day. We also have our Showcase Day coming up on April 24th from 12 to 2:30. We have a CTE program orientation night from May 15th from 6:30 to 8. Any student that's in a program, we're going to have an orientation night here at the Academy so parents can get here, kind of see their teacher, meet their teacher, kind of figure out exactly what program they're going into and the opportunities that they're going to have that next school year, kind of leading into that. We have Law Day coming up for our 8th graders on May 16th here at the Academy from 9:45 to 11:45, where those students get to actually witness actual court cases going on right here at the Academy. And then on the 21st of May, 6 to 7:30, we'll have our work-based learning and capstone banquet for all of those. We have a number of kids that are in, we have over 60 kids that are in a work-based learning or a capstone experience. And we have those mentors that they are in the field experience with. We're going to invite those mentors in and have a banquet and an award recognition for them for that night. Any questions?
On March 24th?
1 o'clock on March 24th, yes, 1 o'clock. Okay, thank you.
Next, we have Jody Clark with the senior high school.
Good evening. Just want to let you know all of our juniors successfully completed the SAT examination, and that is part of their Indiana diploma requirement. Our junior high math classes will be taking their 3rd iLearn checkpoint exam on Friday, March 21st. And then our teachers are actually seeing some great results from these. And then after this 3rd checkpoint, they'll have one final iLearn test towards the end of the year. Our third quarter obviously ended last Friday. Our high school teachers held parent-teacher conferences for those students that were maybe at risk of failing their classes or had other concerns to helpfully just kind of push them through to the end and make sure they finish out this next quarter successfully. We wanted to congratulate the archery students. We have Sydney Napier and Kendall Bollinger, who recently participated in the state archery competition. Sydney actually placed fourth among all middle school students, female archers in the entire state in the bullseye competition. And she will actually be competing in Louisville, Kentucky this May for the national competition for bullseye and 3D. And then Kendall Bollinger finished 27th among all high school male archers. So he had a great year as well. Our band concert we just held last week, and it was quite a success with their dinner, and they did an amazing job. Susan Miles, who's a representative from Riley's Children's Hospital, she will be at the junior senior high on March 27th, and she's going to be presented a big check from Sunshine Society to Riley, and this is from when they did their fundraiser from the Queen contest back during basketball season, and that $4,217 that our Sunshine Society raised was the largest amount raised in the state. So we're excited that we're able to present that to Riley. And then the Sunshine Society is now raising money to purchase books for Kate's Cart, and which was originally created, I guess you could say, was after a little girl who was born in 2006 passed away from some congenital heart failure and some other things, and she loved to read, so her parents created Kate's Cart. And this is so that hospitals can have books for the families and children to read while they're having long stays in the hospital. So Sunshine Society is raising money for that, so they can purchase quite a few books for the hospitals to add to Kate's Cart. And then Jared Week is underway. Our National Honor Society students are planning all kinds of fun activities, and then the auction, which will take place next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The auction is actually on the 27th. So if there's anything you'd like to donate, please contact Robin Kaufman. There's a document. If you want to donate anything, just let her know. And then our student council just held their blood drive recently, which was a great success as well. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Barry Singlery, the athletic director.
Good evening. Spring sports are officially underway. Our first event of the spring will be the Whitko softball team is scrimmaging DeKalb this Thursday at 5 p.m. at Whitko. Schedules are all confirmed and updated on EventLink, and facilities are being prepped for upcoming events. It's a quick turnaround going from having snow a few weeks ago to now we're playing softball and baseball and running track. So last week's weather was great for helping us get prepped and get everything ready to go. But with that, we know bad weather's coming as well, and we'll continue to post updates on postponements or cancellations as those happen throughout the spring. Feeder program updates. Our youth baseball and softball skills assessments took place the last 2 weekends, March 8th and March 15th. We also have our travel softball and travel baseball information posted and sent out to all Whitko families. Really appreciate our varsity programs and want to thank them for all they've done to host those events and to host these travel teams for Whitko. Summer camp information, we're starting to get the wheels turning a little bit with our varsity coaches to get their information collected so we can schedule those throughout the summer and continue to provide opportunities for our athletes in the summer months. Upcoming events, we're working on scheduling our athletic physical night in Whitko. Hopefully this can take place again at the high school in May. This has been a good opportunity for us to get about a third of our athletes into Whitko, get their physical completed. It's really great for incoming now 6th and 7th graders this year to complete all their paperwork and get their physical done all in one stop. So working on that, and we'll get that date out as soon as we can. And then lastly, just want to say that appreciate the board recognizing the Whitko girls basketball team on a great season, finishing 21-5, winning the TRC, the sectional, and the regional. Just felt like the team and the coaching staff were an excellent representation of Whitko athletics and the Whitko community all season. And also wanted to thank all the staff, students, parents, and the community members for all their support throughout the tournament. I know it meant a lot to the coach and to the team, having the parades after the big wins and everything like that. It was a really good experience. I think it was really good for the school and for the community as well. So just want to thank everyone for being part of that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Next, we have Rhonda Snavely, Director of Operations.
Good evening. Transportation side, our annual bus inspection is scheduled for April 22nd through the 24th. Joe Hartman is our new state trooper that's been assigned to our district. Chris and Doug have been working really hard just to make sure all of our buses are good and inspection ready is what we call it. As with any new person, you just never know what to expect when they come, and we just want to make sure that we're ready for them. I've been working with Kristen to get all of our bus maintenance entered into a maintenance software program. Part of our routing software is called Fleet Maintenance, and that would give us the opportunity to put all of our maintenance information in there so that we could be able to pull it up at any time by bus, by parts. Gives us an opportunity as well to maintain our inventory. We've had it for a while, but we've not used it much, but we are working to get all that set up and everything in there so that we can move forward. Maintenance side, we hired a new custodian, Trevor Miller, at the Whitko Junior Senior High. He started last Monday in a full-time position. He trained on nights last week, but starting tonight, he is going to move to third shift and be working from 10 to 6:30 a.m. This is going to make it easier. He has the gym and the locker room area, and sometimes that area is difficult to get into with all the activities and sports in the gym area. And it'll also give us the opportunity to have eyes in our building around the clock so that if we have any maintenance issues or anything like that, that he would be there to be able to report it to maybe eliminate and know what we need to do to fix it before there's much damage. Doug has also been working on our mowers to make sure they're ready for spring, and Ashton has started our outside cleanup. I'm hoping to get ahead of the weeds this year, but that's always my hope. So, and lastly, I have the building project updates. The masons are on site and they're making good progress. We still have our schedule to be completed by July 24th, 25th. And he had made the comment that with the delay with the masons, that the electricians and the plumbers and the masons will kind of be staggered on top of each other. So there's going to be a lot of communication that's going to be needed to make sure that everything gets completed and they stay out of each other's way to get that done. Recent updates, the dry erase boards have been installed in the science labs and the classrooms. The LVT flooring is started in the hallways and the alcoves. The signage has been started. The door hardware is partially installed. Sinks and running waters in the science rooms, and the lights in the baffles are installed in certain areas. I sent a few pictures, but it really doesn't give it justice to just all the changes that are taking place just every day, just to make it look like an actual classroom in a school setting. And I'm anxious to get the lockers installed just because to me that's what I think of when I think of a high school or a junior senior high. But unfortunately that'll probably be one of the last ones because they don't want them to get damaged in the construction process. So does anybody have any questions?
Question. Do the students, will they be sharing lockers or do they each get their own? I can't remember.
They each get their own locker, is my
That'll be
understanding.
nice. Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Carrie Walmer, Director of Special Services.
April is another reporting month for our department. Just some things to know. Our department has processed 119 evaluation requests for special education eligibility. We're also verifying information for our upcoming April 1 special ed count date. This is just a supplemental count date for students who are receiving special ed services. It's used to track the changes in the number of students that we service, but then also looking at students enrolled in special ed programs after the primary count date of December 1. The DOE monitors this along with the State Board of Education. So last year, April 1st, we had a total count of 333 students. Our preliminary estimated April 1 count for this year is 315. There's a lot of fluctuation just due to student mobility, and then also our court-ordered placements at Pearson Woods Academy, which we serve as the local education agency. Do you have any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Next, we have Rachel Hardy with the Whitko Early Learning Center.
So last month I mentioned that we applied to take part in the Lena Grow cohort and we got accepted. So right now we're working towards our orientation phase to start in April. What this will do is we'll introduce teachers to the program, and then we will begin on working on getting our rooms ready to start implementing the program. We had to select 2 coaches, so Sierra Arnett and myself will be the coaches that will help the teachers through the process. So each week, there'll be a 5-week cycle. They'll have a Lena day where they're using the talkometer in class, which will track the conversational turns between an adult and a kid. And then after the Lena day, then we'll have a data. I have to upload the data into the computer, and then we'll meet with the teachers and do a coaching where they will develop their goals for where they want to go for the next Lena day. And then after that is their practice day where they will begin practicing what they're going to be doing in the classroom so that they can have a measurable improvement within the classroom. So again, we're looking at more conversational turns with each child in the class because that research indicates that that helps develop early literacy in kids. And then so the first 3 classes that we will be implementing this program with will be our full day preschool, our 3s and our 2s, and then after that 5-week cycle we will begin implementation in our infant room, our toddler room, and our AM/PM preschool. So we'll be able to use this program in all 6 classes. So that's exciting. After that, I mentioned last month also that we're going to begin ordering playground equipment. So I have been messaging with Missy Reese, who helped us write the grant to get the funding. So we'll begin purchasing that so that we can have that on ready before the school year. And then lastly, we are planning a fundraising event to help offset costs for our food that we'll be doing in the summer. So what we have right now is on April 30th, we'll have a day where families can go into Taproot, and we'll have a set menu for the families to come into. We'll get the proceeds from that night. During that night, we'll also be able to meet with families if they have questions on our summer program and registering, and then our questions about the next school year. So we'll have all of that information at that time as well. Any questions?
Thank you. Next, Caleb Logan with Alternative Services.
Good evening. So since last month, not a lot of changes in terms of enrollment, but the exciting news out of the alternative school, we're kind of in the season where a lot of our seniors are getting really close to finishing their graduation requirements, which is exciting. Some of which will finish their core content and probably before spring break, and then have their pathway classes at WCA remaining. But just seeing that step for them from some of them potentially being behind to being ready for graduation is kind of exciting, and I know is an exciting time for Mr. Stone in that room. In total right now, we have 87 students utilizing Apex in some sort of capacity, whether it's through the alternative school or through credit recovery for maybe taking one class at a time. And in total, those students have earned, as of this morning, 286 credits towards graduation. Any questions for me? All right, thank you.
Next, we have Teresa Neppel on technology, curriculum, and testing schedule.
Good evening. I'm going to start with reading curriculum, the ARC program. In the fall, we had goal setting. So for each building in the district set some goals. So the goals are based on or revolving around students or readers at the proficient level. So if someone is a proficient reader, that means they are at grade level or above, okay? And the other one is at emergency level. So if a student is at an emergency level, that means he or she is 3 or more grade levels below where they should be. So our district goal, and we set this in November. So if you recap a little bit, November 26th, we had all the IRLA, which is the independent reading level assessment. That's what they call IRLA. It was all completed November 26th, school-wide. The junior high, we kind of revamped, rethought back to the evaluation process to make sure it was authentic, not getting too many people involved. So November 26th, we finally were able to set a district goal. So the district goal was by May 29th of this year, the percentage of students reading at the proficiency level would increase from 47% to 57%. And that would be 74 students to go above and beyond their grade level, okay? And then on May 29th, the percentage of students reading at the emergency level, we would decrease from 21% down to 11%. Okay, so your emergency, you want them to go down. Your proficient, you want the numbers to go up. That would be equivalent to moving 82 students out of the emergency level into what they call at-risk or proficient, okay? I want to give a few highlights here, and I did not separate it by buildings because we're Whitko and we are one. So here are some grade level highlights. The kindergartners, I put down, they're rocking it. 76%, that's 53 out of 70 kindergartners currently, now this is as of last Friday, mind you, as of last Friday, are at proficiency. That's at grade level or above, with only 9%, 6 students, at the emergency level. Keeping in mind, if you do your numbers, you're like, that's 53 plus 6, can't you do math? Well, we have the at-risk group in the middle, okay? You got your proficiency, at-risk, emergency. So we're trying to make sure our high, we're keeping them going, and our low, we're getting them up, okay? Second graders, 60% at proficiency, 52 out of 87 students. Third graders, 62% at proficiency, 53 students out of 85. Fifth graders, 69% at proficiency, 62 students out of 90. With 7 months down and 2 to go, we currently have 414 students out of 741 who are at proficiency level or above. And that would be a 56%. And if you go back to my district goal that we said 57%. So we are Basically, we have 8 students away from meeting that goal, which in my opinion, I think we're going to crush it, which is awesome because we're Whitko. Math curriculum, Ready Indiana math curriculum has been on display here at the Career Academy for parents to view. Teachers are looking forward to be able to dive into the curriculum and prepare for the 25-26 school year. No pressure, but as long as you guys approve, we'd like to start rolling out the PD in the summer and do a refresher course before school year starts as we start out the school year to help the teachers out. Testing schedule, I think you've heard that 3 different times. I'm not going to say anymore. But I will add high school biology also is part of the iLearn during the 14th through the 9th of May. And then this is hot off the press. The Teachers Evaluation Committee would like to recommend using Pivot, which is a digital platform, to record certified evaluations and documentations as well as walkthroughs. This would replace our NIET platform. Okay, any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our reports section. So now we're moving on to 4.0, which are our donations and grant updates. Dr. Corus.
We have $3,032 from St. Francis Xavier Church for their Boomerang Backpack Program.
Great, thank you. We have no signups for public comment regarding agenda items. We'll move on to 6.0, which are the business reports and consent agenda. You've all been given a chance to look at these, but it covers the February 19th executive session work session and February 24th regular meeting, as well as payroll claims on March 14th and March 12th, and then monthly transfers. This also includes the revenue report, appropriations report, fund report, and financial report, and then the extracurricular schedule as well as personnel. May I get a motion to pass the section 6.0?
I move that we approve the business reports and consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any discussion? Okay, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your right hand. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. For 7.0 new business, 7.1 is the approval of calendars for the 25-26 and 26-27 school years. May I have a motion to approve those calendars?
I move that we approve the calendars for the 25-26, 26-27 school years.
I second it.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any discussion? Okay, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your right hand. Aye. All those opposed? Next is 7.2, approval of the nurse assistant substitute job description. May I have a motion to approve?
I move for the approval of nurse assistant substitute job description.
I second it.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any discussions? Okay, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your right hand. Aye. All those who oppose, the motion passes. Next is the adoption of the Ready Math program for the math curriculum. May I have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the Ready Math program for the math curriculum.
I second.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any discussion? We will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your right hand. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. 7.4 is the approval of the pivot evaluations for certified staff evaluations. May I have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the pivot evaluations for certified staff evaluations.
I second.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Next is the approval of field trips. May I have a motion to approve the field trips?
I move to approve field trips.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second, and are there any discussions? Now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. That concludes 7.0. Moving on to 8.0 is old business. There are no old business items at this time. 9.0 are miscellaneous administrative items. Do you have any, Dr. Corus?
I do. I just want to say congratulations to our archers. And then I went to the band concert last week, and not only were they fantastic, but I looked around, and it was pretty full. I was impressed how many people showed up, so that made me super happy for that program. The arts, every program we want to grow, but we certainly can't do it without our community there. So I saw people that did not have children in the band, so that always just sits well with us, and thank you for that for the community. I want to say thank you to the math committee. They spent hours poring over math curriculum, and it is super tedious. Teachers looked at it, so thank you, Teresa, for heading that up. You did a great job. And I did that in my former job, so I know how hard that is, and she nailed it. And thank you for approving that, by the way. And also for the teacher evaluation committee, they also spent a ton of time talking to consultants, and it's not something we take lightly. All these things cost a lot of money, so we are trying to be smart with our taxpayer dollars. So thank you to both of those committees. And then finally, have a fantastic spring break. Be safe. Come back to work. Come back tan and happy and rested to roll out the rest of the year. But I am not traveling, but I am excited that we all get a little bit of time off. So thank you to all of my staff who work hard. You all deserve the week off. So that's all I have.
Okay. Section 10.0, we have no signups for public comments on non-agenda items. So moving to 11.0, miscellaneous school board items. The next work session is scheduled for Wednesday, April 16th in the Academy Tap Room at 5:30 p.m. And the next regular meeting is Monday, April 21st in the Academy Lecture Room right here. I believe that's all we have tonight, so may I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
It has been moved in second, and all those in favor, please say aye. Thank you all for coming.